the amount of games that are out there, it's truly impossible to play everything that's out there. You have a very finite amount of time between your career, your education, family, school, sleep, your partners, and other obligations that life throws at you. You've truly got to choose wisely what you pick your time to be invested in and what games you take up. Extraction shooters were one of the casualties of the games that I wanted to get into that sadly didn't make the cut. Extraction shooters, for those that haven't heard the term, are games with an instanced area or randomly generated area with a random assortment of loot with the aim of extracting said loot, usually battling either the environment or other players or both to try and gain that loot. With the equipment and loot being secured, you can invest that into your next run, making you more of a formidable foe. While you could bring the equipment that you've just earned, if you do die, you will end up losing the equipment to other players or the environment. But not bringing the equipment means that you might be unprepared and ill-equipped versus the other players that might take that gamble. It's this fun risk-reward gameplay loop that's made it an addictive and a popular subgenre in shooters. I first got interested in the genre when I witnessed The Division and played it back in 2015-2016 at PAX Australia. I can't remember which year it was, but I wasn't wanting to go into it alone, so I tried my best to armbar my friends and my wife into it, and to this I failed. Most of them at the time were into what I would consider the cousin of extraction shooters, the base builders, the survival shooters, Ark and Rust. They have a similar risk with it all being on one map and the constant fear of losing everything on a run, but with it all being on one map and constantly being online, you can lose all your equipment and your base while you're having a snooze or making a cup of tea. My wife and my friends would play these games as they enjoyed the risk and they enjoyed the base building and the crafting, or if you're like my wife, the dinosaur breeding in Ark, but I would get tired of the offline raids as there was nothing you could do. You were having a snooze. You were out gallivanting around doing your shopping. Now, while I couldn't get into the extraction shooter scene directly, I would spectate the extraction shooter scene, and as they became a popular trend on Twitch. As the nature of the game, you could just jump in on a stream and you'd be familiar of the goings-on between The Division, Marauders, and of course, Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov is probably the biggest extraction shooter that's out on the market at the time of this recording, and is being developed by Battlestate Games and has done a pretty bang-up job of things and is really kept out of all the controversies that you would normally find. Until a few days ago, where Escape from Tarkov was getting covered by every YouTuber that has a microphone. The streamers that I watched, they pretty much dropped the game and spoke about it like it was someone that dropped a fart in an elevator and maintained eye contact the entire time. I don't know if it's something in the water or if it's just 2024 is the year that devs are going completely mask off in this competition to piss as many people off as humanly possible. I still think Ubisoft have won the gold, but damn, Battlestate, you're going for the silver. You've robbed Capcom. Now, a lot of what's transpired has happened over the weeks, so let me give you the catch-up on this. This all started with a pack that was introduced some time ago, and it's been in the store for quite some time, called the Edge of Darkness. In Aussie dollary dues, it's a 95 bundle, and it comes with a bunch of digital goodies, including some equipment, some storage, but there's an important line that's caused a fuss for this whole thing. Free access to all subsequent DLCs, brackets, Season Pass. Now, Escape from Tarkov isn't a free game. There is a standard edition of $50, but the $95 edition isn't too bad. Tarkov gets regular updates, so it makes an easier pill to swallow with the amount of updates that come in. But eventually, players had noticed that the Edge of Darkness pack was removed from the stores and then replaced with the Unheard of edition. A little line was present that I mentioned earlier, the free access to all subsequent DLCs Season Pass. That was present on this new Unheard of edition. But then there was a separate line. Access to the PvE co-op mode. A mode that the Tarkov community has been eagerly waiting for, like a fat kid in line for their KFC. This led to eyebrows being raised. Firstly, the Edge of Darkness pack is just gone. There was a new pack in a similar price tag model, the Prepare to Escape pack, sitting at $110, but the line for DLC or the Season Pass is completely absent. You had the $50 base pack, the $82 pack, this $110 pack, and then the Unheard of edition coming in at a whopping $250. So now you're going 50, 80, 90's gone, 110 to 250. It's a bit of a drop in the price. I mean, Star Wars Outlaws prices are a bit out there and a bit steep, but at least it kind of eased you into it if you want to talk silver linings. Tarkov just goes in dry and you've just got to bite the pillow. But the Edge of Darkness pack was a very popular pack, and it's been there for quite some time, so most likely most of the pre-existing Tarkov players have already got this pack. So it's probably only going to affect the newer players, right? I mean, the Tarkov gang do need to earn their bag somehow, and this just seemed to be the way. Now, remember when I was mentioning the Unheard of edition, and specifically there was a line about the PvE mode separately from the DLC line? Well, folks noticed that and asked for some clarification. And that's when the fuse was lit. Nikita, the CEO of Battlestate Games, took to Reddit with full confidence and said, and I quote, "The PvE mode is not DLC. DLC, in their understanding, is additions to the existing game or gameplay loop, with the PvE mode being its own separate entity on its own network and infrastructure and... yeah. Discounts were offered. If you owned the Edge of Darkness, 50% off to upgrade to the Unheard of edition. He could have offered pizza and lap dances, but he lost them. Reddit went mental. It's honestly worth a read to watch the mob just go mental. Link down below. Have a read. It's like a damn car crash in slow motion. After what I can only imagine was the most tense 24 hours in that office, Nikita would return to Reddit with an update pretty much summing up, "We're keeping the Unheard of edition, we need the money really bad, but anyone that already owns the Edge of Darkness mode, which we're not bringing back, will get the PvE mode. Our bad." I can only imagine that someone pointed out to Nikita that the Edge of Darkness players are probably the core of their player base, and then what's keeping the game funded and going. So pissing them off to try and win on this technicality on what DLC is just not worth it. However, it does feel like they try to get the last laugh in by saying that the Edge of Darkness players will have to wait for their chance to get to play it, as they're going to release it in waves, as apparently they don't have the server capacity. Honestly, I think it's just to try and save face and maybe get a quick middle finger in there before they bow out. I think it's a good balance, and that being said, all this drama really could have been avoided. I'm sure they were anticipating some backlash. There's no way they could not have expected some backlash. I just don't think they were expecting the level of backlash. But it's good to see that they've compromised and they've met everyone in the middle, and I think Tarkov will survive this. Just wish Ubisoft and Capcom would compromise with us a little. Damn shame. Anyway, I've been the Welshie One. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It lets me know you enjoyed this content. Please eat, drink, and have a nap and take care of yourselves. And I'll catch you on the next one. Unheard of edition. They're gonna have to change that name because fucking everyone's heard of it now.